Time management.
Hey, it's time for another version of the Practice Revolution. By now we've seen the student summaries where you told us how practicing has been going so far. And one thing we always hear and we heard on the summaries is that time management is a struggle for teenagers, always has been. One of the best things you can learn from being a multi-activity person is time management. And that is the ability to do something and to do it well. Of course, you don't want to be mediocre at all the things you're trying. And so the best way to do it well is to learn how to manage your time. In fact, I would say that that's the main transition from being a freshman to being a high school graduate, is that you go from having your parents manage all of your time to you making sure that you regulate yourself. We said before that it's not a problem of dedication. In fact, I think the problem here is that school or real life creates emergencies. I heard this one time about a project on the moon, and the assignment was given for 30 days. Well, this particular student waited until about a week out and then started to really dig in on figuring out what was going on. Well, the project was you're supposed to look at the moon for 6 days and draw it. So now all of a sudden, this whole project that was a month long gets compressed into 1 week. Then, as the week started to wind down, they realized they didn't read the back of the instructions. And you're supposed to build a telescope, watch part of Apollo 13, and write a 500-word essay. Well, by compressing that 30-day project into a week, you've totally ruined practice and really everything else in your life by having to do all these activities in one. You have emergencies, you have to go to the library, what if your internet's down and all that stuff, so that you can get this thing going. And then this particular student was very dedicated, wanted to get A's, and so they realized that it was a 500-word essay minimum, and then they wanted to go above and beyond, make sure they got an A, and all of a sudden, being a dedicated but disorganized student led to another week being shot. And it's not just that 1 week. This week it's the project about the moon. Next week it's the book report. The week after that it's something else. So if you live your whole life like an emergency, you're not going to find time to practice. So the problem's not that you're not motivated. It's just that you're dedicated but disorganized. So there's two things that we're recommending that you can do, and these are balance and lists. First of all, when we talk about balance, really anymore, you can't run your life like a middle schooler or a preteen. You've got to have balance in your life where you work on everything a little bit at a time. This gives you time to think in between. So you work on something for a little while, you come back a day or two later, and that promotes that excellence that you're shooting for. Let's think about some of the projects that you do. Are you really going to just study for the AP test the night before? Are you really going to cram for a solo at solo and ensemble just in the last couple days? It doesn't work that way. Your projects are too big and too difficult in order to just kind of smash it in at the last second. So when you balance, you can actually schedule. And when you can schedule, you can put your practice in there. There's time enough in the day. There's time enough for the president to run the country. So surely there's enough time for you to get everything done that you can. But it all depends on balance and planning to be able to schedule those activities, including practicing, into your life. But your life's too complicated now, so you have to make lists. How many times have you ever said, I forgot to do that, until it became an emergency? Well, if you make a list, something maybe in your phone or somewhere that you look, or on the bathroom mirror that you can see every day, you can be reminded of all those things that you have going on in your life. You can schedule all your classes, your volunteer, your community groups, taking care of your spiritual life and your family and all of those things, and work on it all a little bit at a time. You can't go entire weekends or weeks without working and chipping away at these little things that you want to be awesome awesome at. And when you do that, you can practice. The whole transition to becoming an adult is all about taking care of all of your responsibilities, and the main way to do that is through time management. So make sure that you balance your life, work on everything a little bit at a time, and make lists of those things. Your life's too complicated not to. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't just practice hard, practice smart.